Creydall Systems, meeting the IT needs of business in South Australia.
Adam Randall here from Creydall Systems. Today we're going to be talking about backup systems in business. Contrary to popular belief, backups are not as simple as what people will have you believe. Anyone can go in and set up a backup system to back up every night and give you 4 tapes and say, there you go, away you go, thanks very much and appreciate the check. Unfortunately, that's not where it stops, and there's a big disconnect between what many IT consultants will do and what many small business or business owners expect. I'll give you an example of a large misconception, and that is, once a consultant goes in and sets your backup running, then they're responsible for it until the end of the life of the server. Unfortunately, that's just not the case, and often we will, in the past, we'll have seen other businesses where they've gone in, they've put the backup in, and the small businesses, or the business has actually gone in and actually required that backup. It may be 3 years later, and have found that it hasn't backed up for 3 years. They've been putting the tape in every night. They've been doing that diligently every night. But it's just failed a couple of weeks after it was installed, or a year after it was installed, or whatever. And so they've got no backup for their data. And ultimately, as harsh as it might sound, it's the business owner's fault, because it's your data. You're responsible for it, no one else. And so you either need to do one of 2 things: take responsibility for it yourself and check it every night. And when we say check it, you should be doing test restores as well. That is the most important part of a backup, and it's the one that is least talked about. Most often because it's the most expensive and no one will do it. No one wants to pay for it. So it doesn't get done. So you end up just throwing the dice, hoping that your backups have worked. And 80% of the time they do, but there's that 20% of the time where they don't. So how do we resolve this? Well, to resolve it, we need to, as business owners, accept the fact that it's going to be an ongoing payment to have those checked by someone who knows what they're doing. In nearly all cases that I've seen, with internal staff being made responsible for checking backups to make sure they've worked, it has been an overwhelming failure. And that's because staff change, they go on holidays, they get sick, it gets put down in, oh, we'll do it if we have time tray, and ultimately people don't have time. So it doesn't get checked. And then one day you need it, and all of a sudden it's, why hasn't it worked? Whose responsibility is it to check? And ultimately it always falls back on, even if it, in all reality, it's nothing to do with the IT consultant who originally installed it, the business owner doesn't see it that way. So what we do in our business is we have 3 backup systems. We will not put our name against any other backup system. We say, you will take one of these on, it's a monthly fee. We will take responsibility for it, we will give you reports, and we will do test restores once a month, and that way we trust it, we know it works, and it takes time. I mean, it takes probably a couple of hours a month of checking and checklists and test restores and that sort of thing, but at the end of the day the client knows that they're going to get their data back if they need to. And we also encourage the client to, once every 6 months, test us. Test us. Ring up, tell us you need a file, and see if we can restore it. And that is a great way to make sure that your backup's still working.
Creydall Systems is the company that manages IT from a business perspective through integration and automation of best practices within the industry.